Hello, welcome to Thor Talk, the show all about Marvel's resident god of thunder, where I discuss Thor feats, battles, story arcs, villains, and more. On this episode of Thor Talk, I go through Thor's life from his birth to his banishment to Earth. Plus, we look at why Thor loves Earth so much. This is Thor Talk.
I am Thor the Thunderer, son of Odin, prince of Asgard. I am an Avenger, and this world is under my protection.
Whosoever holds this hammer, if it be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor.
The story of Thor's birth was revealed in Thor Annual number 11, which was written by Alan Zelenetz. In this issue, we see that Thor's mother is not Frigga, as shown in the Marvel movies, but Gaia, the elder goddess of the earth. Gaia, in the form of Jord, is approached by Odin. Odin asks her to bear his child so that he may have an heir whose power surpasses all of Asgard. Gaia agrees, and Odin creates a cave in Norway, where she gives birth to Thor several months later. After Thor is weaned, he is taken by Odin to Asgard, where his wife Frigga agrees to raise him as her own. Later, Frigga would agree to do a similar task when Odin adopted Loki. Young Thor grew into a mighty warrior, and he tasked himself to become worthy of the Uru Hammer Mjolnir. As he sought to do this, he wielded an enchanted axe called Jarnbjorn, and he used it when he successfully fought off Gorr the God Butcher in the year 893 AD. As Thor accomplished many great deeds, he was slowly able to lift Mjolnir a little bit more off the ground, but never fully able to lift it. Then, one day, Thor went to the Fates, who tell him that the only way to win Mjolnir is to meet death. Thor is puzzled by this, and he returns home, where Balder tells him that the storm giants have taken Lady Sif. Then, without thinking, Thor lifts Mjolnir high above his head and goes off to face the storm giants. He effortlessly defeats them, and their king tells him that he gave Sif to Hela. Thor meets Hela, the goddess of death, as she has Sith. Thor then offers himself to die in Sif's place. Hela is so touched by Thor's offer that she lets them both go free. Now armed with Mjolnir, Thor would continue to support and fight alongside the Vikings who worshipped him on Earth. However, one day, he goes to Earth to watch as a Viking raiding party begins their assault, and the battle is rather quickly over. Puzzled by this, Thor goes to observe the defeated warriors, only to find that his followers did not fight fellow warriors in honorable combat, but rather murdered unarmed monks in a Christian monastery. Thor is horrified to find that such acts were done in his name, and he wonders what other horrible deeds were done by his followers. So, Thor vows to never again return to Earth. Thor would only break this oath a few times, as when he followed Loki to the Old West in order to retrieve the golden apples that Loki stole, and when Adolf Hitler transported Thor to Earth during World War II, and tricked him into fighting Captain America. In modern times, Thor would grow more arrogant and headstrong, to the point that he would break a treaty between the Asgardians and the Storm Giants. Unable to let this behavior continue, Odin casts Thor down to Earth in the form of a man called Dr. Donald Blake in order to teach Thor humility. After Odin was satisfied that Thor learned humility, he mentally prompted Dr. Blake to go to Norway. There he would go into a cave, the same cave that Thor was born in hundreds of years ago. And in that cave, he would find a cane. When Blake struck that cane, the god of thunder returned, and the world changed forever. If you want to find out what happens next and how Blake found the cane, then hit the link below to watch the first episode of Thor Talk, where I go through Journey into Mystery number 83, the first appearance of Thor. So, as we learned in this episode, Thor is the son of Gaia. Gaia is an elder goddess. The elder gods are ancient gods that are some of the most powerful gods to ever exist. Since Thor is half elder god, he is actually more powerful than every Asgardian except for Odin, who has more power through the Odin Force. Also, Gaia is the mother of Kronos, who is the father of Zeus. So technically, as Gaia's son, Thor is Zeus's uncle. And if they had existed in the same universe, Thor would technically be Wonder Woman's great uncle. While Thor's elder god status hasn't been explored all that much in the comics, since his mother is the goddess of the earth, he is able to control the earth. He can create earthquakes, landslides, avalanches, and even separate entire countries with large chasms. In the far future, the earth was devoid of life and completely uninhabitable. But one drop from Thor's blood caused the earth to grow again. The fact that Gaia is his mother is also why Thor is so drawn to the earth. Thor's fellow Asgardians such as Sif and Odin are unable to relate to Thor's love for the earth. They don't understand it. This is because it is not in their blood to love the earth, it's in Thor's blood to love the earth. As Thor himself explained in Thor number 366, he is the god of two worlds, his father's kingdom and his mother's kingdom. Thor willingly protects Asgard as the Prince of Asgard, and Earth as the Prince of Earth. Well, that's all for this episode of Thor Talk. If you want to keep up with Thor Talk and all Thor-related news, follow Thor Talk on Instagram @Thor Talk. You can also keep up with and support Thor Talk by simply subscribing. Once again, I'd like to formally state that all art and video is owned by its respective companies, and I own none of it. With that said, see you next time on Thor Talk, where
You'll be holding